Aside from making great homes, tiny houses on wheels are also perfect for mobile businesses. That's why today we've traveled to Asheville in North Carolina to meet a little cafe that's got some really big dreams. Hey Chantal.
Hi Rice, how are you?
Nice to meet you. G'day Mike.
Nice to meet you.
Good to see you, mate. This has got to be one of the most beautiful tiny homes I've seen ever. The lines, the shape, this is a complete work of art.
Thank you.
But this is a little bit unusual because this is not actually a traditional tiny house. This is actually a mobile coffee shop, isn't it?
Yeah.
What actually inspired you to create a mobile coffee shop business?
Mike and I sort of collaborated. He was starting a tiny house company. I wanted to start a cafe. Yeah, I was really inspired by the tiny house movement. We're both environmentalists, and so we decided to collaborate. I saw these awesome little coffee houses out in Montana, and just sort of saw it as an opportunity to open up my own tiny coffee house.
I can only imagine how long it took you to get that roof line right.
Me and the roof have a pretty deep relationship. A lot of love, a lot of hate. I'd never built anything like this. I mean, most conventional builds are, boxes and you get the odd arch, but it's a circle, and combining all these curves was really difficult. And I think my stubbornness was the only reason why it got done. Most things that I've done in my life that have been really hard have been worth doing. So I just kept thinking about that, like, it'll be worth it, it'll be beautiful, it's something that we can be proud of when we're done. And
this is a really unique building as well, because the vast majority of the materials that have gone into the construction of this tiny house are recycled, aren't they?
75% of the materials we used are recycled and salvaged. So we got them from all over town, really. Craigslist was a huge help to us, and just going online and bartering with people. Scraps that we found on the side of the road. A lot of jobs that Mike had done with the green building company he worked with, just scrap pieces of wood that we just sort of put together and made a wall out of. And so yeah, it was fun. It was hard. It definitely took a lot longer using recycled materials, but I think it was worth it.
Well, as beautiful as this tiny house is, it's not actually a tiny house, it's a cafe, and I'm really interested to see how you managed to pull all the workings of a functional cafe into a building this size.
Well, let's go in.
Let's go have a look.
Welcome to Le Bon Cafe.
Oh, this is completely charming. So what are the dimensions of this building actually?
The footprint is 6.5 feet by 12 feet. But by bumping out the sides, by giving it the curved shape, we actually gained 2 feet of space. And so we were able to get our full countertop space on both sides because of the arch.
So when designing a tiny house cafe, what were your essentials? What were the things that you absolutely had to have in here?
So I guess the most important thing for me was the espresso machine, and just having that whole section. And you actually don't need that much space. I got this great sort of smaller espresso machine that does the same job as a much bigger one does, but it has like a regular outlet, so you can plug it into any kind of 110 volt outlet. But once that was in, grinder, a sink for cleaning up the jugs, and then also the shelf above this was really key for me because everything I need is up there. So, coffee, cleaning supplies, and then I have a ton of storage space right underneath the countertops, which is where I keep everything that I need. We have 2 mini fridges, so I keep my milks and any perishables in there. But we have a lot of countertop space. I mean, it's very rare that I would use all of it. Most of the time I just have everything I need here and maybe one countertop over there. But when we're at a festival, like a big festival, we definitely use every square inch.
Now let's talk just a bit about the shapes in here, because this is such a uniquely shaped structure. This must have been a real challenge to build.
The sides actually weren't that hard. I used plywood for the ribs, and then I notched in 2x4s across to create a really rigid structure because I knew this thing was going to be on the road.
So what do you estimate the material cost of the build alone was?
I'd say we probably did it for maybe $3,500.
Maybe 35 to 4,000, I think. And then I think with equipment and everything else, you know, everything included, was probably about 12,000.
For a cafe and a build of this caliber, that is such an incredible figure. But I guess the key thing to remember in all of that is that that's not including the enormous amount of time that went into actually creating this.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That was definitely a balance we had to strike. Using recycled and reclaimed materials is a lot more labour intensive.
And where did the name of the cafe come from?
I'm half French, my dad is French, and so Le Bon Café means the good coffee. I wanted something French. I thought Le Bon Café sounded classy and nice, and it reflected a little bit of me, so.
What's it like to actually run a tiny house cafe?
It was definitely a challenge, especially initially. I've never run my own business before, so that was an element of it. And the fact that it's a moving tiny house cafe was also, it took me a little while to get used to, you know, just hooking it up to the trailer and moving it from place to place. Initially was very time consuming, but just, you know, it's been less than a year that I've been open and it already feels a lot easier and it's fun. I love it. I mean, this is my dream, you know, and this is what I've wanted to do for ages.
Now, one of the other really unique things about this cafe is that it's being towed around Asheville using a biodiesel fueled vehicle, isn't it?
We obviously, you know, wanted to continue down the road of sustainability, and I told Chantal that I would go find her a truck that she could pull the coffee shop with, and when I brought back old Dirty D, she was a bit surprised. But it's an awesome truck, and actually we are lucky enough to live in Asheville. We get our fuel right from a pump in town. Blue Ridge biodiesel sources dirty vegetable oil, and they filter it and they put it in a big tank for us, and we just come up and it's right in town, and we fill up and off we go.
I just feel like that really completes the story, and what you guys have created here to me is just so special. It is the true manifesting of a dream, and I am really excited for everything that's in your future, and I can't wait to see more of your incredible builds, and I'm really ready to try one of your cups of coffee.
Yeah, absolutely.
This may be a tiny cafe, but there's no question about it that the place has a huge heart. And true to Le Bon's name, I can testify that this is a very good cup of coffee.